So it's based on its position. Okay, so where it belongs to. So local variable, when what you say as a local, that it's somewhere limited access, right? And global means it has the access to the like on a bigger state or on a bigger level. So local variables would be those variables which are declared in a method. I'll tell you. And global variables would be one which are declared in a class. That means what? So now if you remember, class were our houses, right? Methods were the different rooms which belongs to that particular house. So now I have a table, okay, or maybe I have the almirah. The almirah is always in the master bedroom. It will not travel to from this room to that room. Even I'll never put my almirah to the kitchen. I'll never put my almirah to the dining hall. So the almirah which belongs to a particular room or a table which belongs to a particular room, that would be called local variable because it belongs to that particular method only. Other rooms are not aware of it. Other rooms will not be able to get it inside of it. Like, okay, maybe I want to put it in the dining hall, it would not suit there, it would not be accessible there. That's what is a local variable. And what is a global variable? Global variable, you can think of a pen, or maybe uh, something which is traveling from this room to that room, that room to that room, one notebook. It can be something like that, which can go to easily from one room to another room, accessible by any rooms I want. Even I want to go to the kitchen and note down some few things, what are the things I need for the next month, I can do that with a pen and notebook. It is accessible anywhere from any room. Those would be called global variables, but they have to be declared at the class level. Like, what is a class level? So if you see, one second, let me check where is the mouse here. So we had this project, right? Yeah, let's go to the hello world. So here the class scope, you remember, right? Okay, let's delete few things because it's a long class or else right now. So if you remember, this was the class scope, correct? And this is the method scope. So whatever the variables I'm gonna like maybe declare here, like int x equals to 10. So this is a variable I have declared inside a method. Now I'm creating another method, okay? Public stat void sum. So this is another method. If I say here x equals to x plus 10, will it work? No. Why? Because this particular room doesn't have any knowledge what is an x, because x is a local variable here. This is local to the main method only. It doesn't have access, it doesn't know the existence of that particular x variable outside of this room. The master bedroom only knows about the x. Whereas if I have a global variable, global variable means class level but not inside any room. Okay, so class level starts from here, right? It's a class scope. So if I don't enter it any particular room, then it would be in the class level. It is, so like here I can say int y equals to 15. But now if I give here that y equals to, but it's not coming. Try catch. Okay, static. Okay, I got it because it's static. Let's remove it for now. So see here, the y is now available to the particular room, any room I want. Even here I can do it. That y equals to y plus x. Here also this is static. It's giving a hard problem. Yeah. Why I have given static, I'll come back to it. Don't worry. So because it's in the class level, all the rooms can access it. Okay, just understand what is local, what is global. Local means it's particularly declared in a particular room or in a method. So the other methods are not aware about it. So that's why there is a local variable. Global variable is something where it has been declared at a class level. okay, or on a house you can think of, so that all other rooms or all other methods can use it whenever they want. That would be the difference of local variable and global variable. Now static variable. Local and global variable clear, right, for you guys? Any doubts on this?
No, that it's clear.
No, sir. It's clear.
Cool.
No,
Now
sir.
the cool. So now the static. Static is a keyword. Okay. When you are writing static, you would see that it's getting highlighted by Java. So static is a keyword. So what does the static function do? Okay. It's little bit hard to explain. Okay, let me try in the easiest way. Static keyword. It's a keyword, first of all. Even interviewer may ask you what is static and how it works. Okay. So static is a keyword, and so every keyword has its own functionality. Like that, static also has its own functionality. What is the functionality of it? So if you have noticed, we are giving the static keyword, we are giving to the methods as needed. We can give to variables. It may be possible to classes also. Usually we don't give. Okay. So methods and variables. So how it helps to the method, or what are the functionality it adds for the method and variables? So static keyword means that it would be loaded for the compiler at the first, even before the main method. If you remember, I said the execution start with the main method, correct? The execution load is the main method of Java. But the compiler loads everything all together, right? While loading, or while it's compiling the whole code, the static variable or static methods would be going at the first. So if I have a static int x equals to 10 and I have int y equals to 15, so this because it's a static variable, static will go before. Static would be loaded at the first, even before the execution starts. And this thing, int y equals to 15, would be gradually executed. Okay. When the execution is happening, if the y comes into the picture, then y would be taken into consideration. Maybe I have declared int x equals to 10 and I haven't used x anywhere. Okay. Anywhere in the code, I haven't used the int x, but still possible. But the compiler will still load it out or still compile it at the first. This is one functionality, that static, whatever the static method or static variables, they comes up and gets loaded first for the compiler. And what is the second thing? So second thing is actually a little bit tricky. So in Java, we have different types of memory. Okay. So what is happening? So whenever we are writing int x equals to 5, so we are giving it's a 4-byte space, correct? 4-byte of space we are giving. We are considering that there is a 4-byte of space which is called as x and the value is 5 inside it. That is what is happening in the background. So like that, anything you do in Java requires the space. Even you have written a code. You guys trying to say something? Okay. So even when you are writing a particular code, it's consuming a space, correct? So whatever we write, it consumes a memory. It's a part of a memory. So in Java, we have 4 types of memory, where it will store all the variables, where it will store the different methods, where it will store the different types of class. All these things would be there. Okay. So there are 4 types of memory, as I said. So among them, 2 major memory are, one is heap memory, another is static memory. Okay. Heap memory is something which is not permanent. It's kind of, you can think of a RAM. Okay. Like when it's working, it's working. Once the work is done, it's out of the picture. So like it's unstable memory. When it's in the picture of, or it's in the use, then only this memory comes into the play. And like as I told you a few minutes back only, right? Int y equals to 10. So this compiler will use the y only when the y is needed somewhere in the code. If not needed, it's not gonna even bother to use the y memory. So this y is stored in the heap memory. But whenever you are declaring in a static method or static variable, it's gonna store in the static memory. Okay, static memory is a stable memory. It's kind of a permanent memory. So what happens in the static memory? As I said, if you remember, if the y comes into the picture, then only this memory would be called upon. But for the static memory, because it's a like permanent memory, till the execution is going on, this memory is always there for reference. Because static, first of all, it got loaded at the first, so automatically whatever the static things were all together, it got a memory size, and from the execution start till execution end, this memory would be always present there. If it needed, if it's not needed, it doesn't matter, it would be always there, and it would be a more of a stable memory. That's what I'm saying. So whenever you declare any static variable or static method, it goes to the stat memory, which is more of a stable memory. If you don't give static, the variables and the methods goes to the heap memory. So they will come into the picture when they are called upon, or when they are, like I have said, int y equals to 10. If I later use y equals to y plus 2, then only this particular picture or y equals to 10 would be called upon. But if I am saying that static int x equals to 10, then at the first itself, this x integer x 4 bytes will go to the stat memory, which is more of a stable memory. Then execution will start from the main method. And even if the x is not called upon, but still it got loaded, it still got compiled, it still got a memory, even without the mention of anywhere. This x got a memory, like for 4 bytes in the stat memory with a value of 10, even without mentioning anywhere in the code hereafter of the x. It's a little complicated, I know, but the more you will come into the picture of oops, you will have more knowledge of the memory and how the stats are working, how the heap memory is working, you will know. But if anyone asks you what is static, static is a keyword of Java, and what is the functional of it. So if I use static keyword with any variable or any method, first it will get compiled or loaded at the first, even before the main method, even before the execution. That's the first thing. Second thing is all the static variables and static methods gets some memory, which is called static memory. These two are the main functionalities. Okay, someone has doubts. It seems. Yeah, Mona.
I have a doubt. Is it mutable or unmutable? Immutable, like static memory?
No, static is not gonna see. Uh, see, static. How can I say? So int, boolean, float. These things are what? Mutable or immutable?
Mutable.
Mutable. And string.
Immutable.
Both the things can be static, right? Static int I can write, even static string I can write. It depends on the
Mm,
character, what is happening with the code. Okay, what are the data
mm.
types you are using,
Then
whatever
when
method.
we use this static keyword, means in which type of conditions we require this kind of static keyword?
Static, as I said, static you would be using for those methods and those variables which you want to load it up at the first for your reference. So what is the thing is, if you have all the static methods, all the static variables, it will be loaded at the first itself. So the when you are doing the code, while it's compiling, then in the compilation process, it will not get extra time to allocate the memory for the heap, right? While coming back, it doesn't have to go back to the y again and load, okay, y equals to 10, create a heap memory, then refer it there, because it's
Okay.
already loaded up for the static.
Yeah, clear.
So from the compilation point of view, you may think that static is far better because it's getting loaded up, all the things are already ready, I can call upon, okay, the dishes are already there, it's like a buffet, you just have to fetch what you need then. But uh, for if it's a non-static, the things are like you are giving your order, then it's getting cooked, then it's coming back to your plate. Someone has ordered the variable y, then it will go back where the y has been declared, then it will see y is an integer, then it will allocate a 4 byte memory in the heap, then the value will come to your plate as a y equals to 10.
Yeah, thank you, Amitabh.
Sir, where we declared static variables at the class level or like method level?
Okay, so there is a okay, good question actually, this one. So static variables can be used in the global, okay, no issues. In the global, you don't have any restriction. As you can see in the global, I have given static int, correct?
Yes, sir.
So now for the local variable, if you want to declare, as much I remember, even these things I'm not doing a lot. One second, guys. Let me check once. It's not possible. It's not possible. So if you in the local level, if you want to put the static variable, your method has to be static.
Okay.
Okay. If
Okay.
your room is not static, then your variable, particularly inside it, see here, it's giving a error. Okay.
Yes, sir. Legal.
Okay. Anything else?
Sir, it's like whenever static variables declared in a static K keyword, we uh, we use that this dot not.
No, 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 no. This dot, it's not related to static. No, no, no. You guys are getting too much noises from my side.
No, sir.
Oh, super. So this dot, what you are saying to recall a variable where is needed, it's not related to that. Okay. 1 second, I'm getting a call. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
the reference which you are giving like this dot with the variable name, then calling upon a particular variable, it's not really related to the static. Okay. So even if you, so what my suggestion is, even if you guys are a little bit aware of Java, or maybe you are going through Java yourself, like don't get a wrong concept in your head first. Okay. Because if it's wrong once, it's very hard to replace that particular concept and put a correct thought. Trust me, you may think, okay, whatever the correct, I'll just know it in a better way. It's not like that, because the concepts matters. It's like something, whenever I'm saying the houses, rooms, this area, and so these things I'm saying just because to make the picturize it in your head. Okay. This picturization matters so that it would be easy for you to get the concept and never forget it. So if you are reading any particular documentation, if you are going through any particular topic, if you are going ahead of what is going through this training session, make sure either one thing that you are knowing it all, whatever is written in the documentation, you are super clear, no doubt. And second thing is, if you are getting doubts on that particular topics, what our general like approach should be that I would be researching more on that particular doubts. I would be searching more. I'll go through more 10 documents and then I'll know it. I know that's better and that's the usual one. But right now, don't do that. If you do that with those 10 documents, having 10 sentences, you will have a concept which may not be fully correct. And that may cost you later. It's not easy to like totally replace a concept. Okay. So either get the whole thing and it's like, okay, super, I got the whole concept. Or better, if you are getting a doubts, wait till we reach to the topic. You can ask the doubt and we'll resolve it out.
Yeah.
Cool. So the local variable, global variable, and static variable, you guys got it, right? Like for the static variable, I would suggest you can just go through a little bit some documentation which will actually help you to get the idea a little bit clear. So any doubts on this anymore?
Amitabh,
Yes.
I have one question. What is instance variable? Instance variables.
Instance variables comes with the object. Instance means object. So maybe we'll come to this later. Okay. You guys already
And
used it, I know, but I don't want to show you how it works.
Amitabh, are static variables and class variables same?
Static variables and class
Class.
variable. Not really, I think.
Actually, yesterday in assignment, we have seen question of
Instance
Instance,
class
instance
variable,
variable.
instance variable, local variable, and global variables.
Okay.
So
Saujan, are you
exactly
there?
the difference between
Yeah,
instance
I'm
and
here, Amitabh. Sorry, I haven't prepared that assessment paper. Aarti and team has prepared it. I'm
Uh,
sorry.
so did
Few
you
of the
go through the
questions
questions? What are the questions are there?
not exactly, Amitabh. I'm sorry.
Because
Because
yeah,
many of the as per the discussion, I just came to know that many of the things were not covered. So even then, also the paper was given in that way. I'm very sorry for that, Amitabh. I'll just make sure from now onwards it is not repeated.
yeah, just if even if anyone is setting up the questions, you just go
Sure,
through once. That would be enough.
sure, Amitabh.
Yeah. So the class variable and the static variable, what you guys are asking, I'll just clear it out. See, class variables, how can I express? Class variables is something which is the global variable for sure, because it's, as the name says, it's a class, but it has to be the static also. Okay. Static global variables are called class variables. You can think like that.
maybe global and static level class level declaration of static variables and also global variables both are comes under class variables, no?
No, 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 no. Don't confuse it. One second. I'll just share my screen. See, local variable, you don't have any doubt, correct? Local variables are something. One second.
Confined to
Local
method.
means in method,
Hmm.
nothing else. Global means in class and out of any method, correct? In class,
Yep.
out of any method. It can be static, it can be non-static, correct? Now static
Yep.
variables. Static variables are something which are static. Static keyword is there. Static keyword mentioned. And it can be local, it can be global, correct?
Yes.
I can even give the static int x equals to 10 inside my main method because the main method is static. So static variables can be local and global both, but the criteria is static keyword should be there with it. And now class variables, it has to be the static variable and plus it has to be the global variable. Got it now? So this global static, this part is only the class variable. Global variables can be non-static also. So global variables and class variables are not same. First thing. Getting my point?
Yes, yes, Samantha.
So these are the four types of variable which you are seeing. One more is there which is instance variable, but like you don't have to know right away. Okay, instance variable will enter with the object only. Instance means object, like the coding term of object is instance. Okay, so local variable is in something inside a method. It can be also static, non-static, depends.
Hi,
Because
Amit.
yeah,
Yeah, so we understood that global, what is static, everything. But what is the use case of static? So why do we use static variables or static methods? Like, uh, so when do
yeah,
we?
Navin. Yeah. So as I said, so static variables static variables or methods. The static keyword has the advantage to get loaded up at the first. Correct. Even before the execution
Yes.
starts.
Oh,
So now,
yeah.
just suppose 1 second. Sorry, I gave the controller in the Teams. So just suppose I have static few things. I have non-static. I will not be writing. Just I have other things. Okay. So
Yeah.
this static few things, whatever is there, would be loaded up at the first. Okay. So now after it's loaded up, then the execution will start. While the execution is going on, if any reference comes for this, it would be readily available, as I said, right? The dishes are ready in front of you. If you need any particular dish or if you like any particular dish, you can just directly call it upon because it's already compiled. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And when the execution is going on, if you came across something which is non-static, so it's something like you have ordered now, then it will go back, it will see the reference in the heap memory, what you have referred here, then it will come back with that reference. Like
Got
you have, so you want to have some particular dish which is not available in the buffet, then you will say, you will ask the waiter will go back to the kitchen, it will get like cooked up, then it will come back to your table.
So in general, we use static to to fasten the execution, right? It means.
Static will maybe, I'm not sure how much faster it will give. Okay, it's just the advantage of having everything ready. But in real life, if I show you any framework which you use day by day, you would not find one single thing which is static,
Okay.
because static also uses the stat memory. So stat memory consumes the memory also, right? It is consuming your RAM. And when you are executing 800, 1200, 5000 test cases, you don't want your RAM to be filled up. It's better to use the heap memory always. Execution ends, the memory also clears out.
Okay. In that
And
case,
Amitabh,
we don't use
static
static.
means hello.
Yeah.
Uh, and static means it is like local only, right? Like it is only accessed within the like class only. Uh, if we can access static means we have to create a object reference.
I'm trying to ignore the object as much as possible, guys. Don't push me in that particular corner where I have to explain the object how it works.
Like
Static, that's true. That's true. What you
I'm at
said.
like
If any particular,
what I'm
wait,
saying is like Amitabh, static means it is also like local variable like that only, right?
no, static can be global variable also, right?
Okay, okay.
Uh,
And
Dude, I
if
just
if
showed you
we
two
take
minutes back.
static method means compiler will execute first static method, right? Or
It's not execute. Execution will happen as you have given the order in the main method. Okay. Execution doesn't have to do anything with the static. Static classes and methods gets the compiled first or gets the loaded up first. They given the priority to get compiled first. They get compiled, they get the stat memory place, they get the memory first even before the execution starts. That's the point. I told you, right? It's not, I know it's not easy, but let me explain again. So whenever you have given something static, variable or even a method, so these things would be compiled first or loaded up first. Then the execution will start and then execution finished. But if something is non-static, which is non-static, what will happen? Nothing is static, just suppose. Then the execution will start. It will go through. If anything is needed, according to that, it will be called upon the heap memory. It will create the memory for it. And then it's something like, okay, just let me make it very simple for you. So if I say, okay, Navin, where do you live? Okay, so Navin has to give me a particular address which I can refer to. Correct. I can send a letter to, I can send maybe IPL tickets to. Okay, so it has to be a particular address. So based on that address, I'll be sending my letters. If I already have that address, do I have to write the address again? No, right? I don't have to ask Navin again. So it's something like static. Having the static keyword gives you the advantage that you already know what are the addresses there, what are the things available there. The compiler already knows while the execution starts. If it's a non-static, then it's something like okay, I'm going through. Suddenly I saw, okay, Navin, I don't have the address. So I'll ask Navin. Navin will give me the address. Then based on that address, I'll proceed again. Object, whenever you are saying object, no, this object keyword is actually a reference. It's a address reference only, or address means for machine, for this laptop computer, for this machine. Address means memory reference. Okay, memory reference. So as I said, static things gets loaded up first. They go to the stat memory. Now related, they go to the stat memory. It's a stable memory, I said, right? So it's already there even before the execution starts. So I'm going through.
Yes.
If I need any particular reference, I'll go to the stable memory. I'll check that's available there. I'll carry on. All good. No, nothing. Now this non-static things goes to the heap memory. I told, right? Heap memory is an unstable memory and only exists till the execution is going on. Once execution is done here, this heap memory would be cleared, totally cleared. So what happens? I'm starting here, and then for my need, I need to know the address. I'll know the address of Naveen. I'll put it here. I'll put the reference here. Then I'm creating the memory while execution is going on. Then I'm allocating the reference for Naveen's address. Then I'll proceed with it. Once the execution ends, it doesn't matter to me if I knew Naveen's address or not. Again, cleared. Even stat memory will get cleared here at the execution end. That's not the point. The point is at the start if I have the reference or not. Because the static keyword things will have the stat memory. It's a stable memory. It's always readily available for the execution. But when it's a heap memory, it's not readily available. If you need it, it would be called upon. Without,
So
yeah.
yeah, I understood the concept. What is this static and allocation of memory, everything. So do we get any scenario that we need static variables? Like, do we get any situation that we need a few things that need to be readily available, or else
Yes.
we don't use?
Yes, always. Whenever you are going through any particular framework, you are doing day-to-day tasks, you are doing automation, few things which would be needed, always static. Okay, like some reference where you want to save your report, where your test data is. Okay, these things you want to load them up at the first only, or else in your all test cases, every test case needs to get the test data, right? So if
Yeah.
every test case is going back and forth to the heap memory, the memory is getting created, again it's coming back. So this thing will actually may increase your time when you are running around 5,000 test cases. So what we do for this, especially for the file paths where my test data is, where I have to save the report, where the user credentials are, for these things we try to save in the static. So it's get loaded up at the first itself and go ahead. It's always there.
Okay, understood.
But without mentioning object, how static helps with the object, how non-static helps with the object, how object works. Even the static discussion, what I said, that's 80% of answer. Okay, what I said, static is a keyword. And second thing, how static works, I said that static variables of memory gets loaded up at the first and it gets a stat memory. These two, even more important answer is there than this. Okay, that answer I can't tell right now because you will not know how it works. So when we'll know the object, that's what I'm saying. Until unless we enter the oops or actually how object works for Java, you may have n number of doubts. Okay, being honest, if I would have said the question, the static would not have come to your question. Okay, because static comes with the object only. So don't worry, things you will know, but it's little, that's why even it's hard for me to explain right now. If I would have told you already how object works and how static will help the object, I could have shown you in the Eclipse 1 minute, done, the answer is closed. You would have seen the practical implementation. I wouldn't have to like put my hand again and again on screen just to show you on the paint. So just hold on. Whatever I said, hopefully you got it. Whatever I said, that is very important. Okay, heap memory and stat memory is gonna go for life to you. You are working on Java. Till here it's clear. Few parts are remaining, but we'll come to that later. But till here it's clear. Any doubts?
Yes, sir. No.
Okay, just give me a minute, guys. I'll just mention in my stand-up. I'll join 15 minutes late. 1 second, guys. Cool. So that was the local variable. So we discussed about all the 4 variables. Just the instance variable I can't discuss right now. So okay, now for the if else. Okay, so what is happening in the if else? Did you guys already practiced as you said, so not an issue. So why we are using if else? Why it's needed?
If we want to execute some statements based on a condition, we'll go for if else.
No, first my question, understand my question. Why if else is required for coding, or what is the use of if else?
We have multiple
Conditions.
for
Yes, to
evaluate.
satisfy
Comparison between the two
conditions.
statements.
It's to satisfy conditions. If I have an output which is based on different types of conditions, I will be using if else, correct? I have n number of outputs which are based on n plus 1 number of or n number of conditions, then I'll be using if else, condition based condition based outputs. That's what I need, correct? Now whenever we are saying that condition based things, we are saying if else. So how does this if else works? That if we'll have a condition, correct? If we'll have a condition here and the output of the if would be here, and if the condition doesn't satisfy, it will go to the else block, correct? Directly.
Yes.
Sorry. So either condition satisfies or condition doesn't satisfy. There is only 2 things, and that's why it's based on boolean, correct? Because
Yep.
boolean has 2 values. Either it has to be true or it has to be false. If it's true, all good, it will go to the if block. If it's not true, all good, it will come to the else block. Now tell me, is there any possibility that I can write a if else block without the else block at all, only if?
Yeah, we
Yes,
can
yes,
write
yes.
it.
Yes.
Then if the
But it,
condition,
yeah.
tell me.
But yeah, if it is, I mean, if it is true, it will execute the if block. If not, it will just exit without any error message or anything.
It will just exist. Okay.
Exit. Yeah.
Okay.
Or else maybe if it is some runtime error, it
It's
can show.
easy if
Otherwise, it
we
will just
give the
come out.
condition and if
So
One
we'll
second.
just handle the error handling will be done in else.
Error handling. How do you handle error?
I mean, it's not about try catch, but I said if the
What is
user
try catch?
has given the, I don't know, Amitabh,
Then why are you
because
using
I,
those words?
yeah, I mean, I had a word because so many years back, so we do like that. But what I said is when the user enters an invalid input, that can be handled in the else block. That is my motto.
Okay. Someone else was saying something.
Yeah, decision will be easy for the computer if you give the conditions.
No, my
Means
thing
if the
is, see,
condition
else.
satisfied, it is this.
No, what my question is, I have one second. My screen is shared to you guys. No, okay, I shared it. No. So I have a if condition 1. Okay. Now I have else block. Correct. My question is it possible that I can only write this much? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
it's possible.
It's possible.
It's possible. Will there be any error?
No.
No error.
No,
No.
No error. Okay, super. Now, if this condition doesn't satisfy, what will happen?
it will
It will not
exit.
get
It
anything.
exit
I
the
think it will stop
Will
the
execute else condition.
Oh, else is
It's
not
not.
there.
It's not. It is not getting anything. Sir.
Anything. It will not get anything.
Okay.
But the new person didn't know what the code is inside. If you mention
Okay.
it is okay.
Raise your hand if you think there would be an error if the condition doesn't satisfy. In the output while running, there would be some runtime error or something. If the else block is not there, only if is there, but still the if is also not satisfying the condition.
Default value will be this.
It will stop the execution.
If you are using some word, be ready for the consequences questions.
Sir,
I'm
does not
asking
get
it.
anything. Sir. Does not get anything, sir, in console.
Okay, so whoever is with Videsh, raise your hand. That there would be nothing in the console because the condition hasn't satisfied. So there is one more Saujanna here. Superb. But I haven't seen you. Are you new to the batch?
Yes, Amit.
Okay.
Amitabh, you're asking anything, Amitabh?
Nah, not to you. There is one more Saujanna in the batch.
Yes, she's there from the beginning, Amitabh. She's along with us from starting of this batch.
I haven't noticed.
Yeah, she's there.
Okay, so 10 people has raised the hand in front of Videsh, and somehow Videsh only hasn't raised the hand. So you guys are saying that because the else block is not there, there would not be any output. Correct.
Yes, Amitabh.
Yes.
So
Amitabh.
okay, so Naveen, what do you think? What will happen if the else block is not there?
It will actually, so Amitabh, if there is no else bug, nothing to do worry. Like it will goes like next in sequence. Can you explain the question once again? Sorry, I missed it because of
Okay, whatever
internet
the
connection.
reason, no issues. Yeah. So my question is, there is if and else. Usually any condition will have if else block, correct?
Yes,
Now
yes,
without the else block, you guys are only saying without the else block also I can only write the if.
yes. We
Okay.
can write that. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Now, but even whatever the if I have written, there is a condition, right? So that condition also is
Yes.
not satisfying.
Then it will goes to the next sequence. Like if not satisfied, if satisfied, it will whatever in the in the if condition, like in the if loop, I mean if scope, it will execute. If not, it will go outside the if condition and rest of the code will be executed.
Okay, so you are also basically with Videsh.
Yes.
So what the other guys you guys are thinking that you guys are not raising the hand? You guys have any other answer? What the opposition party is thinking?
ఎందుకంటే మనం ప్రాక్టికల్
Yes, Pravanya, Deepika, Shankar.
Yeah, for me, like I'm thinking like execution will stop it there itself.
Okay,
Sorry to interrupt, Amitabh. Amitabh, actually, I have tried now. If in the if else condition,
did I
if
ask you
only
guys to try now?
no, Amitabh.
When the election is going on, do any party goes and vote themselves?
Okay, okay,
It's an election going on, so stop trying. Just try to vote.
okay, Amitabh. Okay.
Yeah, Pravanna. So you are thinking the execution will stop because no condition is getting satisfied, right?
Yeah.
So who are with Pravanya? Raise your hand. You guys can lower your hand, the Videsh party. Anyone with Pravanya, raise your hand. The execution will stop. Unknown user. Who is this unknown user? I'm getting some like, okay, Ravia, Shravani. So you guys think that the execution will stop at that point because
Yes, Amitabh.
no conditions are getting satisfied.
Yep.
Sir, execution stop, it means not getting anything in the console, sir.
Yeah, it's obviously the
Mm,
termination. Yeah.
No, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no. Execution stop doesn't mean that not getting any output.
Yeah.
The sequence, okay, let me clear it out that I have some few other lines after this, okay, like system.out.println and all these things. So if you are saying that there would be a termination, means those CISO would not be getting printed.
Right.
And if you are saying that it will just not print anything, I'm only considering that it will not be printing due to the if from the if block. The rest of the code will work as Navin said. Are you guys getting me now, or did I confused you? Okay,
Can you
let me.
repeat once?
So there is if block, okay, there is else, and there is some CISO. Okay. Now else block I have cleared it out. Else block I have cleared it out. Now the scenario is
Then
like this.
the next statements will be executed, Amitabh.
Yes,
If
yes.
there is
It,
no
it
else
will
block,
execute
it
the next
comes
statement
the
also.
statement will execute.
Okay, I don't want to waste any more time here. So the answer would be if there is no else block, if block will work alone. That's super fine. That's correct. Everyone said correct. Now if block condition also doesn't satisfy, then if the condition doesn't satisfy, what happens? It will not enter the particular sequence whatever I have to do for the if, right? The output I'll not get, but rest of the code would be executed. Okay, no issues. Rest of the code would be executed.
Yes, I mean that means it only exits from the if block and comes to the next statement.
Yes, then rest of the code would be okay. Super fine. You got it,
Yeah.
Lavanya?
In the console also, it won't print anything, Amitabh.
No, it will print the CISO, whatever the CISO you have given later.
No, like I'm asking, like
For
if
the if block,
the
no.
condition is not
No.
satisfying, means it
So
will print anything in the console.
no. So okay, let me do it. If you guys are getting this much doubt, let me do it. So I have a if block. If block is 10
Okay.
less than 13. Okay. Okay, it would be satisfying. Oh, sorry. I don't have any else block. Correct? This is what I have asked. There is only if and there is one CISO after it. So
Yeah.
what I'm saying, you will get output only for this because the condition is not satisfying. Only the condition scope. Here is also a scope. You can see, right? This condition scope only will not be in the picture. That's it. This scope would be out of it. So if I just run this, see, this is after if block. Got it? But if this condition would have satisfied, then both the output would be there.
Yeah, it will go inside that room.
Clear, right?
Yeah.
Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now I have if, I have else if, I have else if. How many else if I can give in a code?
As
Any
many
number.
we want.
Depends on the
How many?
Depends upon the condition.
Depends
Correct.
on the
Depends on the conditions.
depends.
A number of possible. So here I'm not giving the else block. Okay. I'm not giving it. It's gone. Is it possible?
Yeah, it's possible.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Possible.
You guys can lower your hand. Okay. It would be paining or else after some time. To be an unknown user. So here also for the if else if block, remember here is an else already. So for else if block, is it possible to have a condition without else at all?
Yes, we can
Yes,
have
sir.
it.
Yes.
We cannot have it. Amita.
So everyone agrees with Shravani or anyone has any other opinion?
Yes.
Cool, cool. Correct. So even for the else if block, whatever the conditions I'm trying, else is just the last option. Okay. There is a possibility that you don't want to keep any else. So both will work. Okay. Like even if here only I can add that. Oh, sorry. Correct. So tell me what is happening here. Why this block is not printing even when the condition is satisfying?
Precondition it will be.
The condition is satisfying, right? This is true. 10 equals to 10. Then why I'm not getting
Else,
this output?
Mainly first
only
is
one
condition
thing.
is passing so that it will not execute it directly into another.
This condition is passing. I get it. Okay. This condition got passed. Then the compiler should come to the next line, right?
But with this option,
It won't come Amitabh, as it is satisfied the first condition, else won't. I mean, it won't
Yes.
enter into else part.
Correct. So here is one more pointer to remember from the if else. When you are using if else, if any of the condition satisfies, it will just execute that particular block and come out of total condition. Okay. It will not execute any other condition, whatever satisfied hereafter. Only the first condition, the first one, whatever gets satisfied, it will just do that particular block. Okay. It will not check hereafter. And one more thing to notice, I haven't given any like scope here. You can see, right? I haven't given any curly braces for the else if, right? But still there is no error and it will not be error. Why? If you want to put only one line as an output, one singular line as an output based on your condition, you may not give any scope. That would be super fine. It will not give you any error. Okay. But trying to give more lines, it will start throwing error. Okay. Oh, it's supporting, huh? I used to know that this would be the error. 1 second. Check. Now the error is coming. Actually, you can see the error has came here. So for only singular line of output, okay, you can skip the curly braces, but more than one line you have to give the braces to understand the compiler. This is the scope for that block. Practice these things, okay, play around it. And if you guys get doubts, we'll again discuss if else tomorrow, because there are still so many questions I have to discuss with you guys on if else. But practice well. If you don't practice well, experiment the ways or the combinations I'm telling you, right? There are a number of combinations I'm telling. Remove the else group, satisfy the first condition, satisfy the second condition, like that. Practice with those combinations, then you will know better about it. Okay.
Okay.